How we do? Nighttime here, as I'm sure you can tell. Recording another best ball draft. Got pick number 2, doing another puppy. So we will be taking one of Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs. I have Gibbs ranked 1, and I actually think it's worth pulling him up to 1 if you have him ranked 1, because enough other people are doing it that the only way you're going to get over on Gibbs is to take him 1. And I'm willing to lose a little bit of Bijan to get more Gibbs. Like, I would like to have 10% Gibbs and 6% Bijan if I can. Haven't really been seeing either of them fall to the 3 much. I had like one draft, I think, where Jamar Chase went 1. But other than that, it's pretty much been the 2 running backs. So, starting with the RB makes it a little easier in these builds, I think. Let's see, Gibbs goes first again, so we'll take Bijan. I like Bijan like almost as much as Gibbs, just not quite, especially after the draft where the Lions were able to pick up Miller, offensive tackle. I think that was a pretty big get. I think the Lions have a safer, better offense with a better quarterback situation, so that's why I prefer Gibbs to Bijan. So since I'm on this end of the board, there's a good chance I wind up with Brock Bowers yet again. Which I don't really know what to do about. Like, when you have a player ranked so much higher than where they're going, I think you just need to lean into it and pray to God that things work out your way for the season, because I don't really want to start drafting a bunch of players that I don't believe in so much just to lower my Bowers percentage. To me, Bowers can be kind of like JSN was last year. I thought we had froze there for a second, so I was going to try to reload, because that seems stuck on that Jonathan Taylor pick. Just take a look at the board. Obviously, nothing too interesting happening here. I've pretty much been taking Jefferson 6, then McCaffrey 7, so I haven't really been getting Jonathan Taylor much. I'll probably mix in a bit of Jonathan Taylor at 6 and 7, just because I don't want to completely fade him. But of these 3, I would like to have the most Jefferson, the next most McCaffrey, the third most Taylor. Then for me, it's like a little bit of a tier break. I don't know. Amon-Ra maybe is still in that tier for me. I'm a little worried about Lamb after the last 2 seasons. He just really has not come anywhere near his psychotic season where he had like 170 something targets or whatever. I think he's been like 70 fantasy points less than that. It's his next best season at this point. Not saying I think he deserves to be too much lower, but I definitely prefer Jefferson and St. Brown to Lamb, so I'm going to have to like force my way to get some Lamb somehow. Trey McBride going a bit early in this draft. He's been dropping in a lot of mine. As I said last video, like Ken Walker, I'm, I guess, just hard fading unless he really drops and I can get a unique combination with him. It's probably the only way I'm going to end up with any Ken Walker. Just think this price is too rich. So I would love to get one of the 2 wide receivers that's still on. Oh, I thought Neighbors was still on the board for some reason. He's not. So I'm at like taking London or Brock Bowers, it looks like. And I would suspect London goes here. Oh, nice. Get the 2 Atlanta guys. That's pretty cool. London I actually do have ranked above Brock Bowers, so I'm pretty happy to take Bowers or Pickens here. basically after Pickens goes, I'm not taking AJ Brown or Josh Jacobs or any of these people over Powers. So it's like Pickens is the last guy I will consider. Like I'll consider taking Nico. I'll pick Pickens, Rice over him. I'll consider taking Chase Brown. I'll consider taking Derrick Henry. But once you hit, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, and then AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, nope, I'm taking Brock Bowers every single time over those guys. And if that means I end up with 40% Brock Bowers, then I guess I end up with 40% Brock Bowers. So I'm still not very interested in the Atlanta quarterbacks, even with getting this Bijan Drake London start. One reason is like I have no idea who's going to start. Second reason is I just don't even think they're that good. Like this offense is so condensed, but like I think both those quarterbacks can make the offense work. So I think it gives the offense like a pretty okay floor. But like I don't think that the quarterbacks as individuals, because they both exist, have very good floors. So I'm not overly interested in Tua or Penix. If at some point they came out and like said like, yeah, we're going with Tua or Penix is going to be ready week 1, we're rolling him, like maybe then, I guess. Like if they really declared someone was the guy, but I don't really see the reason to involve myself with that for now. Wow, nice Garrett Wilson price here for. It's a pretty good get on Olave too. This person going Igbuka Burden pushed some good value down. So I prefer Olave and Wilson to either of these guys. We will not be taking Colston Loveland. Could take Terry here. I think I'll do that. Might consider pulling up Jaden Daniels here. Probably not, though. I think I'm just going to take one of these running backs. Whether it be Scatterboot, Judkins, or Tootin. I think I'm going to pull up Tootin this time because I've already done it with Judkins some with these guys. And I've started to do it with Scatterboot, and like I don't think I have like any pulled up Tootin, so we'll do it with Tootin. There's like almost 0 chance Jaden Daniels get back to us, but it's not actually 0. I have seen him fall all the way down there a couple times. One other thing we could consider doing at quarterback there is to grab maybe Drake May if he falls. Pick up Hunter Henry later to go with Brock Bowers. I am trying to take quarterbacks a bit earlier this year because if they're going to be all condensed and squished together, then that means the good ones are not costing as much compared to the later ones as usual. So, like, usually you'd take Lamar in like round 4, and there would be quarterbacks that would be drafted in like round 15, 16, whatever. But those quarterbacks are now getting drafted in rounds 11 and 12. So, like, I think that makes guys like Lamar a lot better plays because these other teams are not able to put together these Frankenstein quarterback rooms that can fight as good against your elites as in the past. There's like enough wide receiver value I like spread out throughout the draft that like I'm a little bit less, I don't know, in a rush to take wide receivers this year compared to others. I just feel like there's pretty good value at most points in the draft, but like the super late value is pretty shitty, and there's only a few guys I like that are super late. But like at every point, pretty much up until the super late, there's dudes I like. I don't think I've taken any Brian Thomas recently, like since the draft. There he goes. Well, I'm going to take Makai Lemon here and see if Hertz makes it back to me. He probably won't, but that's fine. Then I don't need to worry about it. Like, I need wide receiver pretty bad here. I really like the upside of Lemon, so like if I don't get the Lemon Hertz stack, I would rather have the Lemon half of it than the Hertz half. We got it. That's a pretty nice get there. Must see. Definitely liking the looks of this team so far. I mean, Teuton's obviously a bit of a dangerous play, but he also has tons of upside. Same thing with Henderson. Like, I don't want to get too afraid and start fading these second year running backs that have big upsides. I mean, they do have big downsides, but I don't know. It's part of the game. Playing best ball, trying to win big money. So I don't think you should focus all that much on the negatives. Look more at the potential upsides of some of these guys. Interesting, the Jets guy ended up taking Daniels. So we didn't get Daniels to fall back with our McLaurin, but we did get this nice Lemon Hurt stack that we probably, I almost for sure don't think we would have got it had we picked it the other way. Like this guy had Colston Loveland, so he took Caleb Williams over Hurts, but probably he just takes Lemon if Lemon is available. We could use a little help at wide receiver, a little help at running back, but all in all, things are looking good. We have a pretty elite quarterback as far as fantasy goes, and we have, in my opinion, the most elite tight end. Naked Burrow down on this side of the board. And like the Harrison Wilson double, I don't really love the Harrison Wilson double much. Like, there are so many Cardinals that go early in these drafts, and I'm not sure that team is going to be that good. I also think at some point Carson Beck is going to start, and that is going to be fucking disgusting. What do we got on the lookout for other quarterbacks we could take? Trevor Lawrence is gone, so I was thinking we could do like maybe Tootin and Brenton Strange or something. Don't see anything like too obvious for other quarterbacks that we could take at the moment, but as far as stacking goes, but I'm pretty much open to whatever. I'm not prioritizing stacking as much as other years. Could take Ricky Pearsall or Godwin here. And then maybe go with like Purdy. I suppose. If Purdy gets taken by this guy, then I'll probably just take Jackson Dart and not really worry about stacking much. Obviously, I could still get likely later, but I've been doing that a lot, so that was why I kind of was just like, let me grab Ricky Pearsall this time. Also, I think Bowers is one of the better guys to kind of try to get Kittle through with, so maybe we'll end up with Kittle with our next picks. We'll see. He's 118. We don't pick till 119, but he can fall kind of far in some of these drafts. So I've definitely not drafted a single Kittle team yet, and he is not going to be a big part of my portfolio, but having Brock Bowers to carry him along, and then maybe you get the big spike week from him in the playoffs, the week that Bowers doesn't put up as many points, and that works out. So kind of interesting. I also could punt tight end down to Goddard or Stowers if I want. So they go with Hurts. So might look at doing that if we don't get Kittle. I also just might not take Kittle if there's players I like significantly more there, other positions. Like, he could make it to us and me not take him based on what other players are available. Like, I'm pretty interested in one of the Washington running backs, whether it be Bill or Rachaad White. There's some receivers I really like still on the board, so. But I kind of wouldn't mind doing Kittle because I think this is a good setup for him, and I think I'm going to take him extremely rarely. So we can get quarterback out of there because we're just going to draft the 2. Like I said in my other video, this is kind of more of like my plan of what to do. See, like, this is what I'm talking about like this quarterback situation. Like, so like Drake May, Daniels, Hurts, Caleb Williams, these are guys that like Kyler Murray, even they have like Dak, they have like really big upsides, right? But like, look how close like a Matt Stafford or like a Jared Goff are going to these guys. Even like Purdy, who's not as strong a pick as those guys. Tyler Shuck, who might just be terrible. Hope he's not because I'm a Saints fan. But last year was not indicative of the way he played in college. He played much, much better under pressure last year. Like, look how condensed this quarterback situation is. This person used 3 picks to have Lawrence, Stafford, and Goff, and these picks were 8, 9, and 10. I would always go to battle with our 2 guys versus their 3 guys. All right, I'm going to do the Kittle thing because, like I said, I think I'm almost never going to take Kittle, so. Now it's just a question of how gross do I want to get at which position. Do I want to get super gross at running back or super gross at wide receiver? Jordan Mason goes. I'm going to take Rachaad White. Yeah, I have 2, so. I think Rachaad White ends up being the best running back for fantasy in Washington, but could be Bill, could be Katron Allen. It's really tough to say. And the one thing that White has that the other 2 don't have is he can consolidate touches where they can't because he's going to be the pass-catching running back. So he's going to be the pass-catching running back, and I think he's also going to get other carries besides that. So, like, I think it's Bill versus Katron for the other role. As of now, I would give Bill the edge, but that's probably a situation we need to keep an eye on. And one of the reasons I'm not looking to like go super crazy on Bill, but I also don't want to have like 0 Bill. So We have the option to either take 7 running backs, 7 wide receivers, or 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers. We can just kind of go with the flow on that one. I don't think there'll be any other stacking video other than maybe we'll take Stribling late to go with Party. Like, that's not a player I plan on taking much of. But I haven't taken him a single share in pre-draft or post-draft. So if the price is right, I might get in on that. I'm interested to see how high Jonathan Brooks gets up. Currently, I have him ranked higher than ADP, but lower than Rashad White. But we'll see about maybe making a flip there. I'm kind of low on Tyjae Spears at this point. I don't mind like Diggs and Jennings. I think we're getting some pretty significant discounts just because they haven't signed with the team. I mean, Diggs had 85 catches, 1,000 yards last year. No guarantee ends up in as good a spot as he was last year, though. So, but also at times New England seemed like they could have cared less that he was there. So it's not like they were like force feeding him or anything either. Currently have my eyes on Tyrone Tracy, Denzel Boston, Juwan Jennings, and Diggs. Those are the 4 players I'm looking at with 4 picks before us, so hopefully they're not all of them. Rashid Shaheed doesn't intrigue me so much with Seattle. It seems like there's Torrey Horton and Cup there, and they just never really gave Shaheed the amount of work that I would have liked to see them give him. So I'm a little bit skeptical of what they're doing there. So I'm probably going to take Tyrone Tracy if he's there. If not, I'm probably going to take 2 wide receivers here. Because there's another running back that I'm super interested in. So I'm just going to take Tracy to lock up the running back. And then I'll take one of Boston, Jennings, or Diggs. Not really interested in Shaheed. Brandon Ayuk, can tell he fucking decides he has any interest in football whatsoever. I'm done with that click for now. Gonna take Boston or Jennings because I have some Diggs and I don't really have any Jennings. So I'm gonna go ahead with the rookie here. Take Boston. Jennings, like the 2 teams that I know that he's talked to or that have expressed interest in him, couldn't be more different for his outlook. Like, one was the Vikings, where he's probably going to end up wide receiver 3 in targets and be not very good. On the other hand, the other one is Miami, where he'd probably end up wide receiver 1 in targets and be really good situation for him. So polar opposite situations brewing there. Yeah. Like, this person ended up with Dart, so because he fell a little bit, this is 13 picks past ADP. But if you imagine that instead of Dart, this person has Jordan Love, and they have Love, Darnold, and Bryce Young, or say Baker, Darnold, and Bryce Young, or Daniel Jones, Darnold, and Bryce Young. This is just so expensive for your 3 quarterbacks. The other years that this has been working and has been, one of the best strategies, the quarterbacks were so much cheaper. And these quarterbacks, the guys like Hurts and Drake May and Daniels, they were, 2 rounds more expensive than they are now. 2 to 3 rounds more expensive. So I really, really like 2 QB this year where you're not waiting on them. And I'll take value too. I just took Daniels 11 picks past ADP in a recent draft with no stacking partners. I ended up taking Chig later on and Rashad White later on, but I didn't have Terry. But like, I don't give a shit. Like, I think it's more important to get your quarterback points than to really be like that obsessed with stacking. That's always been the case, but like, I think it's like just like I think it's gonna be hard to win this year unless you're adopting that. With other years, there was enough late quarterbacks and upside with quarterbacks that you could kind of like pick and choose and be like, I'll wait and then I'll stack like this quarterback and figure that out. But you really can't afford to do that this year. Back market is just too unique. Some interest in Emmett Johnson. I fucking hate Jerry Jeudy, but he might be the best wide receiver on the board. I do like the upside of Trey Harris a bit. I'm like fine with taking Tesla. He's not my favorite click. Don't want Brian Robinson because we have Bijan, and I don't want to handcuff there. If you're going to take Emmett Johnson here, I think he has some upside for non-contingent value and very, very big upside for contingent value. Then I'll probably take one of these wide receivers. Probably just take like boring ass Jerry Jeudy, pair him with Denzel Boston if he's there. I think there's a chance Cleveland could even move Jeudy before the season. Would anyone give up anything for him? Probably not, but maybe. It's hard to believe he had like 1,000 yards or 1,200 yard season the year before last. But very, very unexciting click, but I still think there's a price where he's like draftable, and he's probably at that price. Our wide receiver room is looking a little thinner than I'd like, and we got White and Tracy and Emmett Johnson, all who I think are gonna be getting touches and like have non-contingent value with very high contingent upside ceilings. So like I think I will end up going 2-6-8 in this draft. Might look to grab like a Chris Bell just to have a guy with a little bit higher ceiling, especially late in the season, to add to this group. But we'll see what our options are when it gets back to us. Not super interested in Wicks, but like I could maybe take him as a stack piece. Stripling is another guy I could take as a stack piece if I want. First share of George Kittle. Did not really expect to be taking that. Does sound like he expects to be ready early in the season, but maybe not week 1. I'll probably only draft him in certain situations like this. Like, I'd prefer to have like a Brock Bowers to kind of like pull him along than have like two shitty tight ends in him and like count on them pulling him along and then him bailing them out. Like, I don't really want to play him that way, I don't think. So right now oh yeah, Christian Kirk is still there as a stack partner too, actually. I like Kirk more than Stripling, so I like Kirk more than Wicks as well. Kind of like Trey Tucker too. Trey Tucker's got like some pretty nice 1 week upside. Like that wide receiver room is terrific. I mean, Brock Bowers is awesome, but out of the wide receivers, it's like Naylor, Tucker, Besh. I mean, I don't think Tucker's season long stats are going to look very good, but I do think he will have the occasional spike weeks that are very nice. I'm just going to take Tucker because I want him. And, like, I don't care that much if I end up with Kirk or Stribling. So I'd rather have Kirk, but, like, I'll take Stribling. If he takes both San Francisco guys, well, fuck me then. But I'd rather have Trey Tucker in one of them than both of them. I will take Kirk over Stribling, but if he takes Kirk, I'm going to take Stribling. All right. And then our last pick will take a running back. Jordan James is who I'm currently projecting to be the backup for San Francisco, but not 100% sure on that. I'm just kind of throwing in these guys that I think are decent picks as handcuffs. I don't really know which Miami guy is better either between Ollie Gordon and Bright. Ollie Gordon played horrendous last year when he played. So I'm kind of looking at these dudes I have in the queue and hoping they don't all go. Could also do Kalon Black if, it's worth maybe queuing him as well, considering he was a third round pick. I don't think he's good, but I think after these four guys that I feel pretty good about, well, I don't even feel that good about Jordan James, but I'm giving him the edge over Black for now as being the San Francisco handcuff. So maybe we'll consider Black as a pick here. I think I would rather just take Brooks or Malik Davis. I would probably take Kamani Vidal over Jordan James, even if Jordan James was available. I think Vidal is like a premium handcuff. He played pretty damn good last year. He can do kind of everything. I think if Hampton gets hurt, it's going to be the Vidal show with like maybe a bit of a guest star from Keaton Mitchell, but the Vidal will definitely be the better for fantasy guy. So we didn't get Jordan James, which is fine. So for San Francisco, we ended up with Pearsall, Kirk, Kittle. So I'm a little bit less enthused to make this Black pick than I might be otherwise. Just because I feel like we have a bunch going on there. If Kamani Vidal does not go this pick, oh my god, yes. That is awesome. So loving this team. We've got Hurts and Purdy. We've got Bijan, Tootin, Rashad White, Tracy, Emmett Johnson, and Vidal. London, Terry, Makai Lemon, Pearsall, Denzel Boston, the unexciting Judy, Trey Tucker, Christian Kirk, Bowers, and Kittle. All in all, I think this is a pretty good team. And thank you for watching, and good luck in your drafts.